Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your true phenom SP3, and oh my, the Women's Championship Summit was something. It was something, and we're gonna talk about it. I am here with Mommy Nyangi's baby boy, Sat E. How you doing, Sat? And what does the E stand for today?
Thank you. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling slightly run down. I don't know if taking care of a child leaves your immune system kind of weak. But besides that, Set E. The E stands for exquisite because I'm feeling exquisite somewhat today. We're here to talk about some things, some championship samita of the women variety. So, SB3, it's been a while since I asked this question. What's causing all of this?
Well, what's causing all of this was last night on NXT 2.0, they had a championship summit, if you will, where the champions of Toxic Attraction, Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane, stand opposite of the ring from the baby faces, Wendy Chu, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, in a preview of NXT in your house this Saturday at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. We're going to see Katana and Kaden versus JC and Gigi for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. We're going to see Wendy Chu versus Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship. So Wade Barrett, he moderated. He's in the ring. He's sitting down between the baby faces and the heels, and he's moderating the Women's Championship Summit. He's doing the introduction, and Gigi Dolan interrupts him. But Katana Chan says that they have been talking for 8 months, talking about Toxic Attraction, and that's why they will dethrone Toxic Attraction at In Your House. Gigi says in reply that they aren't the first to try and beat Toxic Attraction, and some of those people can't even show their face around here anymore. Little Salt Bay.
Mm-hmm.
JC Jane says while they were doing TikTok videos talking about Kaden and Katana, Toxic Attraction has been controlling the women's division. All the while, Wendy True keeps saying, sign the contract, because Mandy Rose still hasn't signed the contract yet. Kaden says it's easy to hold on to the titles when you don't defend them. And Carden basically, I put in my notes, she straight up lied here, Carter, and says that Kaden and Katana are the only team to ever beat Toxic Attraction, which spits in the face of the fact that Toxic Attraction are two-time women's tag team champions. Now, I understand Seth lives in the land of K-Fabian, and he
Yeah,
wants
I like
he
that.
wants to pretend that, if NXT tells us these things don't exist, they don't exist. But I'm pretty sure one of the people that beat Toxic Attraction in a tag team match is on SmackDown and in a feud or tag teaming up with Ronda Rousey, and the other was a prominent person on the NXT Women's Division, talking about Dakota Kai, or King Coda, her new name. But I guess Raquel Gonzalez doesn't exist anymore, and Dakota Kai's not with the company, so they've never beat Toxic Attraction apparently.
SB, Raquel Rodriguez is the twin cousin of Raquel Gonzalez.
It's like Ezekiel and Elias.
Don't you not see that Raquel Rodriguez is a better wrestler than Raquel Gonzalez? She's not as green. She's a bit more smoother in the ring, if you will. And if I remember correctly, her cousin won a handicap match by herself to win the tag titles. And it said in the rule book, you cannot win a title by yourself, so you have to relinquish. That's why Toxic Attraction won the title back.
See, that's that K Fabian coming out again. Mandy Rose says Toxic Attraction is the best in the business. Wendy Chu keeps telling Toxic Attraction to just sign the contract, and we even get chants from the CWC fans who say, "Sign the contract." Clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. Mandy says she has the most pressure at In Your House, not Cameron Grimes, not Braun Breaker, because she will not let this child, talking about Wendy Chu, win the NXT Women's Championship. Rose says everyone thought her reign would be short when she won the NXT Women's Championship at Halloween Havoc, but it's been over 200 days, 218 days as of today, to be in fact,
She didn't
and
know.
counting.
She said
I know,
200 and
200 days and
something.
counting.
I don't blame her. Who counts the title reign? I probably would.
The Miz does. And so she said, put some respect on her name. Chu then shoots a spitball at Rose, and this starts a whole brawl between the two teams. And my lord, this brawl did not look pretty. The
What?
ladies
I
in
enjoyed it.
the brawl did not look pretty. Mandy Rose strikes were as bad as a Dark Order member attacking Dustin Rhodes. Carter and Chance, they did nice little dives to the outside, especially Katana with a nice twisting plancha onto, I believe it was Gigi. They then come in and hit a lung blower and super kick combo on Mandy before setting her up on a table for Wendy Chu to hit the sleeping elbow on
Really?
Rose through the
I thought it was
table.
a snoring elbow. They should call it a snoring elbow.
She's not snoring. She's just sleeping.
Are you
Um,
sure? She looks like a snorer to me.
the nap time elbow. The baby faces then hold up the NXT Women's title and tag team titles. And my lord, this may have been the most annoying segment I've seen on NXT 2.0. I was so annoyed. I didn't know who I'm supposed to root for because Wendy Chu always comes off very likable, very funny, but she came off annoying with the whole sign the contract thing. Mandy Rose is trying to cut the serious promo when everybody's just going back and forth. Kaden Carter had trouble getting out her promo. Gigi Dolan was okay. Wade Barrett, I don't even know why he was involved in this segment, but this segment, the best thing I could say is that it was interesting. It kept your interest, but it was a mess. What did you think, Sat?
So my notes is slightly different from yours. I may have been watching a different show from you. I found the segment a mess. Yes, it was. But here's the positives of what I saw. There were kind of positives. Mandy Rose played into the chant. I like the fact she became more exasperated. As a heel, it means the crowd's getting to her, which is a good trait. They don't do that often anymore. They're trying to tell people, hey, ignore the fans. If they chant some stuff, just continue doing your robotic promo. I like the fact that she actually lent into that. It added more. Kaden Carter, yeah, she did stifle with her promo, but I like the fire she had when she tried to deliver her promo. She had some fire, which kind of broke up the monotony of JC Jane, who started off a promo sounding a bit like Joe Gacy, but then she kind of relaxed a bit. And Gigi Dolan's Gigi Dolan, man. Gigi Dolan is such a charisma machine that she can just twitch on the spot, and you're like, oh, great performance. So for me, the highlight was the brawl. Most likely the end when they put Mandy Rose through the table. And like, yeah, but I wouldn't say it was the worst, but it wasn't the best. But like anything in NXT 2.0, it has good points, bad points, and just average points. So for me, it was thumbs in the middle. People calling it trash. You know, it was the crowd. It was a thing. If people try to cut promos, people just didn't want to hear them promos. So that's what added to the chaos of things. Was that a bad thing? I don't know. It was a thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't. I'm saying it wasn't bad.
It was bad. It was definitely bad. We could agree to disagree, but oh my lord, I've seen Toxic Attraction. Is a very polarizing group, but for the most part, I see the benefit of having them around. They've been a nice heel faction that have kind of dominated the women's division, kind of put their mark on how different the NXT 2.0 women's division is to the Black and Gold brand that it was before the rebrand last September, and I understood their role, but this did not come off well at all. Like I try my best to put a spin on things, but I just can't. I just can't put a spin on this one. Caden and Katana. We both were saying, we wanted more from them. We wanted them to get an NXT tag team title shot. After this segment, I'm convinced I now want Toxic Attraction to win. That's how done I am after this segment. Yeah.
Do you think, you know how we're saying how Katana and Kaden have been there for a while, and this may be the crowning moment? What if it's a swerve? What if you're right? What if Roxanne and Cora are the ones that's gonna usurp the champions,
I'm
and
convinced.
Kaden turns on Katana? Kaden turns on Katana. That's the only thing that makes sense because they've been a tag team for so long. If they don't win this tag team titles, this opportunity, I'm sorry. Where do you? It's like, especially with what's been hinted at for me, if they don't win it, I see a heel turn coming after the match.
I can see them both turning heel. I can't see them. They it would feel like we missed a bunch of chapters of the story. That's you thinking with your Vince Russo hat on. I wear my Vince hat here. I don't wear my Vince Russo hat though.
That is a Vince hat.
No, that's not a Vince
That's
hat.
like
A
Dakota
Vince,
Kai just
there-
going paya to
there's one Vince, and that Vince helped the other Vince, but that's a Vince Russo. There's been no storyline build up to them doing a breakup angle, but I can see their loss at In Your House leading to either both of them turning heel or them turning on each other. That's a possibility.
That's like Champion Gargano. It's like, that came out of nowhere. No, unless
No,
I'm
that was
forgetting.
built up. Yeah, no. You're bugging. You're forgetting. That was built up very nice. That's been built up since their match at the Cruiserweight Classic. The Cruiserweight Classic, he
Right.
could have turned on them right there. The
True.
match
Okay.
in Brooklyn, I was there live. There was parts of that where people thought Ciampa was going to turn on Gargano. That whole turn was built up the entire tag team run for DY.
Okay, I remember that, but it seemed like he was cool about it. It wasn't like Owen and Brett where the seeds were planted from there. But you're right, maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. But for me, it's because how long they've been there. I thought it was like a Dakota Kai thing when she turned on, I would say Nixon Newell, whatever her name was.
But that was also built up nicely because she kept losing. She was the one they had a WWE Women's Tag Team title shot. She was the one that lost. She kept losing, and then Rhea chose Mia Yim over Dakota Kai, which was the trigger to Dakota Kai to attack Mia Yim so she can get the spot in War Games so she could turn on Tegan Nox. That was built to. This hasn't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, I got baby brain. You're right, man. Stop attacking me, okay? SB3 remembers all this stuff. I watch the stuff once and I move on. SB3, for some weird reason, he keeps that stuff in his memory bank. I remember nothing past 2003 or 4 or 5.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't go back because sports entertainment is already rough as it is. For me, it's like, yeah, I watched it. For me, it's never like, oh, I'm going to go back to it. Like, I've conquered it. I've watched it. Chucked it to the back of my memory. I'm moving forward. But you're right. I'm wrong.
You should not use the baby braid excuse because
I will all the
have
time.
double. I have double. You have new baby
Your
braid.
brain is used to it. Mine is mashed potato.
But yes, we want to hear from all of you. What did you think of the segment? As you see, we're kind of split down the middle on our viewpoint of the Women's Championship Summit. So let you be the tiebreaker. WrestleTalk.com/support. Let us know what you thought about the Women's Championship Summit with Toxic Attraction, Wendy Chu, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter. What do you think about both of those women's title matches coming up on Saturday at In Your House? Who do you think walks out with the gold? Is it going to be the heels? Is it going to be the baby faces? WrestleTalk.com/support. But let's get into the rest of the show before we get to our Mocha Chats set. And the show kicked off with Diamond Mine making their way to the ring backstage. Roger Strong is reminded that the Creed brothers and Ivy now have the night off and tells them to stay back for their upcoming matchup, which is going to be against Pretty Deadly. Brutus Creed says Diamond Mine doesn't take the night off, while Nile is wondering what's going on. And then Pretty Deadly make their entrance and doing the side plate check. Yes, boy. What did you think about the little interaction between Diamond Mine, which was a nice foreshadowing for what was going to come in the matchup?
Nice foreshadowing. This whole entire storyline has been a rewrite of what we actually seen on screen. A tag team is actually winning. Roderick Strong is apparently mad about it. He's a true leader. I do believe that, but I don't like the back chat from the Creed brothers. There's a pecking order they need to appreciate. Since Malcolm Bivens has left, the entertainment portion of NXT has dwindled, including Diamond Mine. They're one of my favorite parts of the show. Now when I look at them, they're a shell of their former vessel. Too many people talking. I shouldn't be talking. So yeah, how do I feel about it? Angry, upset, sad, heartbroken. My team is about to split up for no reason. What's it going to be? Roderick Strong and Damon Kemp? Roderick Strong's got one foot out of the door already. Damon Kemp's going to be stuck there by himself waiting for his comatose younger brother to come to the main roster where he's stuck there. At least he's less comatose. At least he can emote. Not like the other guy, the Olympic gold medalist, who's not like Kurt Angle, who's like dead inside. To answer your question, yeah, it was
that Gable Stevenson slander. It's gonna get you in trouble with something.
No, he's a beast in the ring. All right, I seen some of his stuff on YouTube. He's great, but he's not a sports entertainer. I'm sorry. We saw him how many times? He's got 2 opportunities, and both times he's not set the world on fire. He's the other medalist that won something. Answer, forgot her name. She was more charismatic with a gold medalist. My guy won a gold medal, and he's like this. Stephanie McMahon's hyping him up, and he's like, he does a suplex, and he does that. You know what I'm saying? That's no charisma. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. I'll slander him for 5 minutes if you want. Put that in the mocha chat, and I can talk some more.
Exactly. Get some Steveson slander. Let us know WrestleTalk.com.
He's a great wrestler, but he needs PC. They springboarding him to Raw. He needs charisma lessons. He needs promo lessons. I've never heard him talk. I heard that someone asked him a question. He did this.
There you go. Roderick Strong and Damien Kemp versus Pretty Deadly was our opening match. Damien Kemp actually came off pretty well here. He was thrown off by the eccentric style of Pretty Deadly early on. So Roderick slaps him to get some aggression out, similar to what the Creed brothers do to each other. Kemp then runs wild with suplexes. Roderick is tagged in and he's isolated by Pretty Deadly, but Roddy makes the hot tag to Kemp, who comes in with a nice twisting suplex and a slingshot spear. He's been watching Johnny Gargano tapes. Back from break, Pretty Deadly is once again isolating Kemp. Finally, Damien hot tag Strong in, who runs wild now. Vintage Roddy here with chops and backbreakers to Prince and Wilson. On the floor, Prince pushes Kemp into the steel steps, so he's out of commission, while Wilson and Strong are in the ring. Wilson goes to use the NXT Tag Team title on Roddy, but Julius pushes Strong out of the way, and he gets nailed with the goal, taking the bullet for Roddy, and Brutus tells Roddy to use the title, distracting him, and it sounded like Strong wanted to get hit with the title. I guess wanted to take the DQ finish.
That's why I don't like the storyline. It doesn't make logical sense. My guy saved him. Is it true? Did he save me? You're in the ring. You got physically removed. It wasn't God moving you. It wasn't centrifugal force that moved you.
But he didn't see the title shot. That's the difference. And then Pretty Deadly then hits Roddy with spilled milk for the win. I thought the opener was good, and it continues the drama within Diamond Mine. What was your thoughts, Sat?
One of my favorite parts is when Elton Prince said he out-wrestled Damon Kemp. He goes, I out-wrestled him. I out-wrestled the wrestler. I love that. Like, Pretty Deadly, their sports entertainment. I can't wait for them to chase for the 24/7 title and probably get a tag team title shot and then jump to the Usos. I can't wait for that. They're going to have a great ceiling for them. I can't wait for them to go to the main roster and do nothing at all and get frustrated and leave. I can't wait for it. The guys are good. In terms of Damon Kemp, I feel like out of all the wrestlers in the match, he's the one people didn't know that much or know that well, because unless you watch NXT Level Up, not many do, or watch NXT UK, not many do. This was your first time seeing him wrestle. It was a coming out party. He did well in the match. He had a flurry of suplexes. He, for me, is the superior Gabeson brother at the moment because he can emote and it look like he's dead. He doesn't look like a dead fish. So he did well in the ring. The storyline continues. Diamond Mine going to break up? Why not? Because I'm sick of it already. It's not the team that I signed up for. Where's Hachi, man? Where's Malcolm Bivens? This is not a team I signed up for. Who cares about Taylor Rust?
There you go, folks. Backstage, Sola Sakoa lets Cameron Grimes know that he has his back tonight against Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. But after In Your House, he's got next. Duke Hudson interrupts both of them to brag about beating Braun Breaker. Grimes laughs him off and walks off, but Sakoa says that Hudson's win, it doesn't even count because he won by disqualification, and it leads to a match being set up between Duke and Solo. We went backstage again for another segment where
before you move on, just starting to mention, because even if you didn't put in your notes either, Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes once feuded. They're the reason why both guys got style updates. But it's easy to forget because Duke Hudson hasn't been relevant in a while. That's the last time he had a feud that was of prominence. Yeah, he did the Indusha stuff or whatever, but this is the last time. I forgot until he said nice haircut.
He gave him a haircut and his hair grew back within like a month.
But
I understand how that is. It happens to me too,
Grimes, though,
but
look at Grimes. Grimes still kept a reminder of what Duke Hudson did to him. He doesn't look like a woofy country boy like he did in the beginning with the top hat. I miss the top hat. The top hat is the source of his superpower.
exactly. And that's why I tend to just forget that feud ever happened. Um Backstage, also we get Grayson Waller, who held court earlier today about the women's breakout tournament and why Tiffany Stratton is going to beat Roxanne Perez. He talks trash about the undercarders looks and their athletic ability. Quincy was there, who's one of my favorites from NXT Level Up from the 2 times I watched it. Waller then talks trash about Fallon Henley for losing last week, which brings in Josh Briggs, who challenges Waller for later tonight. What did you think about Grayson Waller holding court in the NXT locker room?
Oh, it was nice character work from Grayson's per usual, establishing him as a slimy individual. But I like the fact that Josh Briggs invited him for a country arse whip, butt whip. I don't know if we can say the A word. I forget the
Apple
list
whip.
of things. Yeah. Peach whip, apple whip. You gotta get a dip. Take a trip down to Pound Town. So that's what he invited him to. And Grayson looked quite enthusiastic about it. So yeah, I liked it. It's up a match and then it made sense.
Yes. We then go to one of our favorite feuds, it seems like every single week, because of these backstage segments that are either outrageous or bad acting or
Oh, there was bad acting.
badly produced. Most weeks, we go to a sit down meeting between Tony D and his wise guys with Legado del Fantasma on Legado del Fantasma's yacht. And I will say, Santos Escobar, I'm pretty sure he stole that yacht from the villain in All About the Benjamins. I'm 100% sure that was the villain. That was the villain's yacht from All About the Benjamins.
I've seen that film in years. Took about bringing up. I bought that video of like cheap. I got it like secondhand or something. I watched it. All About the Benjamins, man.
Yeah, that was
That
a great movie.
my love for Eva Mendes when astronomically even higher. But that's a talk for another time.
Hey, my love for Dr. Dre and Mike Epps as a comedy duo is up here. That's one of my all-time favorite comedy duos that not a lot of people give credit to.
Remind me who I don't like again. Is it two dimes or stacks?
You don't like Stacks.
Oh, wasn't he terrible? I wrote that down. Tony, is this it?
Yes.
Wasn't it terrible?
It was really bad. He was
he-
so
he-
out of place here.
He went to the Linda McMahon School of Acting, School of Emoting. My guy, he's like a day in the headlines. He talks, he's like, he's got 2 lines. My guy's got like 2 lines, and he barely finished the second line. He fumbles on his way to the finisher. Is this? Yeah, what's my line? Why am I stepping on? Like, I'm sorry. The other guy, was it 2 dimes? I like 2 dimes.
Yes.
He
Yes.
belongs. He for me, yeah, he's a made man. You have a guy, they were on the boat. He should have slept with the fishes. That was the one opportunity to get rid of him because he's just ruining everything. Santos Escobar, he should be acting in those WWE films they used to make because he's actually good. When he does his lines and his dialogue, I believe. I'm like, man, this guy has got it. He's like 37 years old at the moment. Vince, take advantage. Put him on the main roster. Put him on the main roster before he becomes 38 and you make him Dominic's manager or something.
Probably so. Santos Escobar asks what business they have to commence. He makes a joke about AJ Galante, but Tony D means business. Tony says he doesn't trust Santos, and if he was dying in the desert, Tony wouldn't give him a lick of water.
I hate that line. I hate that line because he could have said, if you're dying in the desert, I wouldn't give you a lick of my piss. That would have been even greater because that's how much you hate someone. You would have been pissed on them because they're not worthy of it. But anyway, yeah, back to what you're saying.
This is why WWE needs to hire Sat. Sat can help with the script writing, especially for NXT, where you can get away with those words. Escobar calls Tony a snake, but Santos is a python. who would love to squeeze the life out of D'Angelo. Tony wants another fight. Elektra Lopez asks, what's in it for Santos to fight Tony D again? Tony D suggests a 6-man tag team matchup with his Wise Guys versus Legado del Fantasma at this Saturday at In Your House. If the D'Angelo family wins, Legado has to come into the family under Tony's leadership. But if LDF wins, the family has to join Legado del Fantasma under Escobar's leadership. Tony says that after their victory on Saturday, the streets will be talking about how Tony D's crew beat Legado and got some new foot soldiers. And Santos Escobar, he agrees. They shake hands, and then he kicks Tony D's crew off the boat. I thought that this, from Tony D and Santos Escobar, this was good. Everybody else, no, Elektra Lopez, she was good as well. I like her being the one to be like, what's in it for Santos Escobar. That was good. Everybody else, I could have done without. It should have just been a meeting between the leaders of the groups.
Especially where the microphones were placed. Because some of them, they were talking like, hey, where's the lapel mic? Where's the boom? Because it sounds like a very echoey, sounds like very room temperature level kind of sound coming out. So I didn't like the stipulation because I feel like we've seen something similar before with LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. Or it's not the same thing. They don't have to be butlers. Imagine if it was Vince Russo writing it. He would have asked them, you guys be my garden, people, garden gnomes or whatever. And then you'd be like, oh, you can be my pizza boy or whatever. So luckily there wasn't any ethnic slander, but I didn't like it because I don't want to see Legado lose, and then Shawn Michaels' go-to thing is humor, trying to like basically make their life a living hell to the point where they do a rematch where they're relinquished or whatever. I just don't want to see that happen. If it's Vince Russo writing it, he would have Elektra Lopez turn on the guys and become, part of the group. Very, Major Guns and MIA and Team Canada. But yeah, for me, I just didn't like the stipulation. I wanted it to be a thing of if one of the crew loses, they have to break up, but it would have been too obvious because Tony D just got his family. We haven't seen much of him to do that stipulation. I just answered my own question.
I would have liked, honestly, the losing team has to leave NXT so Legado can get called up.
Thank you. That's another reason why as well. That for me screams that this feud is going to continue to probably SummerSlam. So yeah, I'm a bit negative about it because I want Santos to move on. I want the best for him. I feel like he's the guy Vince has been looking for in each of the subsequent Mexican wrestlers he's had since Eddie Guerrero, and he's wasting his prime years by leaving him in developmental. The whole point of being in developmental is to get a new character, find yourself, find your promo style, and then straight to the main roster. He's been overachieving for too long. Come on.
They've been a group for 3 years. Like, people don't really remember that, but yeah, this whole group has kind of been
pandemic,
together
man,
for like
speeds
3
up
years.
things.
Yeah, it's true.
My name is Santos Escobar.
Well, 2 years since 2020, but yeah, it feels like 3 because of the pandemic. Cora Jade versus Elektra Lopez was next. This was another segment where I was just like, yeah, this is a developmental show. Elektra Lopez dominated like 80% of this match,
which was a good thing.
Did not look good though.
She did a lot of power moves.
None of them looked really that.
And a blue thunder bomb. She blew thunder. Oh, come on.
That was the worst blue thunder bomb I've ever seen in my life.
She gets A for attempt,
I guess. Lopez hit that blue thunder bomb for a 2, which Cora grabs the ropes for the break. Jade hits Lopez with a rising knee strike while on the apron and then sets her up for the top rope senton for the win. This was very basic. Cora Jade gets the win, so good to see her back on the winning ways after losing to Natalya a few weeks ago, but this did not look good.
Hey, at least the feud's over, right? Now Cora Jade can move on to teaming up with a bestie.
And they did build to that. We'll get to that. Before that, we had Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing Wes Lee, who has a match with Zion Quinn tonight. And then Sanka the Thunder compliments Wes on his giant heart and wishes him good luck on the match. Man, Sanka, I like Sanka talking. Sanka is a good talker. I will give him that.
Sanka is a nice motivational speaker. He's the anti-Exion Quinn. He doesn't tell you to walk it straight or walk it right, whatever he says to you. He goes, oh man, You got it, man. You got a heart of a tiger. Do what you did when you faced me. Wesley, ever since MSK broke up, he sounds like a guy who just woke out of bed and they shoved the microphone to his face. That low energy.
He don't look happy. He looks depressed, honestly. Like I know this is the story they're trying to tell, but in general, he does not look very happy to be there.
And the funny thing is, when Mackenzie goes, "Oh, so why are you gonna face Exion Quinn?" He goes, "Duh, I challenged him a few weeks ago. It just didn't happen." The fact that she had to go there, yeah. Is like, Mackenzie, where have you been? You were there when the fights were instigated. You're the only person that's there backstage. What did you forget? What?
Hey, I mean, I guess it's forgettable. We see a vignette, these two vignettes were honestly some of my favorite parts of the show before we got to the main event, where they hype up the women's breakout tournament. So the first one's on Roxanne Perez, and we see a 13-year-old Roxy meeting Natalia and Nikki Bella, and Nikki Bella says she's gonna continue on the Bella twin legacy. Yo, I was like, wow, this is crazy that they got this footage. She talks about growing up in Laredo, Texas, and next week's breakout tournament finals. Perez talks about training in Booker T's Reality of Wrestling training school, taking the bus about 10 hours to get there. A lot of great footage of young Roxanne training at Booker T school there. She talks about her friends watching Pretty Little Liars and Stranger Things. I like that. That's relevant culture right there. While she watched Raw and SmackDown, Roxanne talks about missing her prom to train in wrestling. So a lot of sympathetic points they were hitting on this one. Perez then talks about her friendship with Cora Jade and talking about how Cora, traveled down the same road as she did at the same time, at the same age. Roxanne says Tiffany Stratton is twice her size and 10 times stronger than her, but she doesn't have more heart than her. And Roxanne promises to fight until the contract is in her hands. Really good stuff here. Really good stuff. But I'm sorry, Tiffany Stratton's one was just a little bit better.
Listen. I have become a huge Tiffany Stratton fan. So I feel like she went from being a meme to a full-fledged character. She finally nailed her promo style. We get to Tiffany in a moment because I can't gush over the person when it's not her time yet. Roxanne Perez made me feel old. My goodness. What I've noticed about Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, they are diva era women. They don't grow up with Trish and Lita. Who's Trish and Lita? Trish and Lita left, for goodness sake. Their heroes are Michelle McCool, Bella Twins, maybe Karma, maybe Gail Kim, maybe Caitlyn.
Karma wasn't here long enough, but yeah, no,
there's long enough in my heart.
There was like AJ Lee, the Bella Twins, Natalia. Those are their heroes.
Think about this: the worst period considered for women's wrestling in the modern day, even though for like the 90s, they didn't really do them that well. Eva, you know what I'm saying? That's less women. But anyway, the era that people don't like, the Divas era, the era where women didn't wrestle much. That's what they grew up on. That's what inspired them. Thank goodness we got Roxanne out of that, because no women, no little girl would probably want to watch it. You'd be like, nah, man, it's only 4 minutes. I don't be a wrestler. I don't want to wrestle 4 minutes. But she did. She watched it. She became inspired. That footage, where did they get that? They got footage on everyone. Everyone's high school, everyone's prom, everyone's queuing up. WWE, are you watching us now?
Are you videotaping us now for when we get to the performance? When Sack gets to the performance center, you got the tape of him trying out for WrestleTalk. That's gonna be played when he's at the performance center.
No one should watch that ever again.
But like I said, I really enjoyed this Roxanne Perez. This was a great way to get her over as a sympathetic underdog babyface. But my lord, was Tiffany Stratton's video.
Do you want to talk about it now?
Yes, we're going to talk about it right now because I had to.
I was so tempted. You know how you do your, SB Gacy? I was tempted to buy a blonde wig and start doing Tiffany Stratton promos every week on this show. But then I realized we overkill and then we might lose followers. So I'm not going to do it. But imagine me doing, ew.
This was great. This was great. Like, this is the best thing Tiffany Stratton has done. Tiffany says, she talks about where she belongs, being in the women's breakout tournament finals. She talks trash about Nikita Lyons being injured and out of the tournament. tournament, and she wouldn't have even made it to the finals anyway. Stratton says this will not be the only tournament she has ever won. She's won bodybuilding tournaments. We see her in the bodybuilding tournament. We see some of her gymnastic tournaments that she's won in the past. Then Tiffany brings up Roxanne's story, saying that it's as exciting as a cardboard box. She rode a bus for 10 hours to Booker T's school. Ew, sweetheart. There's this thing like called an airplane, and it was created about 100 years ago. This was great.
And she said she missed the prom, but she probably didn't have a date. LOL. Like this is the potential I saw the character from day one. They did the basic stuff, oh daddy, blah blah. But I knew she probably been watching some Mean Girl tapes because she went all Regina George on her peach. She went on her butt. She went all in, and I feel like lately I see it. Tiffany Stratton, since Bianca Belair, because Bianca Belair was the best from her class, I feel like Tiffany Stratton is next. She is next. I say she's next. I put Saeed's stamp of approval on Tiffany Stratton. Take it straight to the moon, please.
To be fair, I was going to bring up after this someone else that we put the stamp of approval, but to finish off on Tiffany Stratton,
we didn't put anyone. I don't know what you're on about. I've always been Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton tells Roxanne that she could go cry on Cora Jay's shoulder when she loses next week, and the finals will be next week. Really enjoyed both of these vignettes. This was a great way to get over the two individual characters and to show the difference between the two individual characters heading into next week's Women's Breakout Tournament finals. But honestly, I wish after these vignettes that this was on In Your House, because I'm more interested in this match than like 80% of the In Your House card.
Wait. It's not.
It's not at In Your House. It's next week's show.
What are they doing? I was looking forward to it. Like, it wasn't announced, but in my head, I was like, it's happening. But I ain't gonna lie, guys. Roxy doesn't need it. Tiffany doesn't really need it because she's been there longer. But I want Tiffany to win. Give it to Tiffany.
I don't blame anyone who wants Tiffany Stratton to win after this vignette. This vignette is a must watch. If you're gonna watch two things from the show, the main event and Tiffany Stratton's vignette is the two things you need to watch. Or no, you gotta watch Roxanne Perez's vignette because it made Tiffany Stratton's vignette better because she played off it so well. Like, it was great. That was great stuff. But yes, someone else that we put their stamp of approval, Nikita Lyons. She revealed on an IG live that she has a partially torn MCL. So we were right last week when we said that we leaned on the side of it being real, a real injury and not something to write her off. But also, Memorial Day, she put out a Twitter video where she had a MAGA artist in the background playing about storming the White House. So the two best lines that I heard about Nikita Lyons over the past few days was, oh man, Nikita Lyons put an extra K in her first name. And the new nickname for her is Booty Giuliani and Donald Rump.
And Suplex Texas, for obvious reasons. If you don't know the history, Google why. You know what? That's catnip for Vince. Vince loves a Republican. Lacey Evans. So it's not. So yeah, just in case people want to know, because it's NXT, what is that E and SP3? Think about it. This is my opinion on the whole situation. It's American politics. I don't involve myself in American politics. I'm in the UK. We've got enough doo-doo crap to deal with. Number two, Vince McMahon's a Republican. Lacey Evans, that's up his alley. Nikita Lyons, even more. Wow. She's Donald Rump. Put her straight to the main roster. So Vince is not going to care.
Giuliani. Yeah,
exactly. It's not going to change his standing at all. HBK, he's more of a, social injustice warrior because he'll sit you down and tell you the wrongs of the world, which is not a bad thing. Michael Hickenbottom, Book of the Year. I could see. Nah, I think she's fine. You know what it was? It's the people that supported her. It's the people that supported her disappointed. I'm not disappointed because I wasn't heavily invested in her like some people are. You know what I'm saying? They're all human beings at the end of the day. After Velveteen Dream, I never invest in people anymore. I'm never shocked when someone F's up. So if you don't learn from Velveteen Dream, you'll get your heart broken over and over again.
Can't say it better than that. So that's all we will say about the Nikita Lions, as that bandwagon has gotten a little lighter over the last couple of days. But going back to the show, Wesley versus Zion Quinn was next after the Roxanne Perez vignette. Lee runs straight at Quinn and nearly jumps over his head. I was scared for a minute there. Zion tries yeeting Lee, but he lands on his feet. Vic Joseph starts talking about Zion Quinn giving advice, even if you don't ask for it, which I was like, yes, this is what we've been saying for weeks. That's his character. So it's finally connecting here. Quinn, he dominates this one, but Wes keeps fighting. He doesn't stay down. Zion catches Wes coming off the top rope and lawn darts him into the second turnbuckle in the corner. Quinn then rallies up, starts doing his little arm poses for his running forearm, but Lee rolls him up out of nowhere and he gets the win. He then celebrates near his wife in the crowd, which was a nice little touch there, even though they didn't mention that. Pretty decent David versus Goliath match that was just about 3.5 minutes long, but it was decent for what it was.
Exion Quinn got new biker shorts. For weeks, he was wearing trousers, but now he's got new shorts, guys, and he stopped wearing them tassels. What does that mean? How I noticed his gear more than a match? The beginning. So no, okay. There were some good points from Wesley when he dove for him. Yeah, it was scary, but I thought that was cool. Yeah, and that one dart to the middle rope from Exion Quinn, that was great. And someone in the chat said that Exion Quinn's a West Samoan. Let's not be quick to judge. It's still Manu. Okay? Exion Quinn just started. Let him get to the main roster and see what he does. If he thrive or he's burnt alive. But yeah, the match was a match. He's got new shorts, man. So he's not trousers is not his thing. He wears shorts again, biker shorts.
Who wears shorts?
Walking straight, shorts. He's walking it straight. Walking, whatever that means. He should put it on a t-shirt because walk it right. Walk it straight.
Backstage, we get the segment you mentioned earlier with Roger Strong screaming at Diamond Mine. Ivy now explains that Julius took the smoking gun for him.
Ivy.
Strong is just like, really? It not happened. Strong still pissed though, and announces that if the Creeds don't beat Pretty Deadly for the titles at In Your House, then they are out of Diamond Mine. Does that change or keep your prediction for In Your House? Where I'm going to ask you for your predictions on each of the matches.
That's good because you do it now because I'll forget when the matches are. Okay,
I know all the matches, so don't worry.
Okay.
You don't have to remember any of the matches.
I know.
I'm gonna tell you all of the matches at the show.
Man, I appreciate you, man. I can't do memory stuff at the moment. But
does it change the added stipulation? Does it change your mind in any
I don't
way?
know if I've been watching so many. I haven't been watching Vince Russo stuff. Maybe I'm run down, but I'm like, what if Roderick Strong turns on them? I would. You're out of Diamond Mine. I would do it, but does it change it? It's quite hard. SB3. Why? I tell you why it's hard. I assume that the Creed brothers had to run through many tag teams. Pretty Deadly face a different tag team, and then they'll meet each other in a big show, and they haven't done that. Yeah. So for the fact the match is happening now, depending on Michael Hickenbottom's patience for storylines, I say yay if time. I mean, Creed brothers brought the family in and didn't win. How awkward is that? Ask Roman. His dad was peed off.
We want to hear your guys' predictions for NXT In Your House this coming Saturday. I'm going to get set predictions. So send us yours with Mocha Chats, WrestleTalk.com/support. Those really matter. It helps us put some diapers on our babies. So we always appreciate that.
Yeah. We're broke at the moment. Give us some Mocha Chats, and I promise you we'll make it worth it. We do monologue readings, we do funny voices. Heck, we read out your opinions. We really interact with the chat.
Look at that, Sat. You said the right thing. We say monologue reading, so it's about that time that love is blind. The grass is greener on the other side. See, I didn't really know the lyrics of Joe Gacy. He was backstage with the Gacy Young Veterans, the Druids, who say, and Joe Gacy says, and I quote, "How fitting that Saturday is called In Your House, because it was in Braun Breaker's house that the first embers of that fire that anger was cultivated. As a child, Braun would sit in front of his TV and watch his father blaze a Hall of Fame career, winning multiple championships in multiple companies, one of the greatest to ever step foot inside the ring, based on uncontrollable power and excessive physicality. And during commercial breaks, Braun and his two brothers would continue where his father left off. Rick would come home, and instead of breaking it up, he would allow it to continue. And why not? Brothers fighting was normal for Rick and his brother Scott. It wasn't just survival of the fittest in the ring, but also at the kitchen table. Instead of correcting course with his childhood anger, Braun took that uncontrollable rage onto the gridiron. He was a freight train running through and over anyone in his way. Braun, you gave a new meaning to the term red zone, but you knew your aggression needed a new home. It needed to live in the squared circle, like father, like son. Braun quickly ascended the ranks of NXT and became the NXT champion. He's now a two-time champion. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it, Braun? How do I know all this intimate information? I learned all of it by spending time with your hero, your father. When a man is helpless, the exterior walls come down and the truth is revealed. Braun, your family settles things with fists. It's not your fault that you're prone to lash out. So I say, lash out. In your house, be the man you truly are. Be the Braun Breaker everyone loves to watch. Bring the extreme fury. Let the anger you have for me consume you. Give me what I deserve. It is more important to get even than to win a match. You don't want to just beat me, do you, Braun? You need to go further outside of the rules for your sake, for your family's sake, because one way or another, that NXT championship is coming home with me. And that was another reading from the book of S.P. Gacy. Cause love is blind. We're gonna see you on the other side. Braun. I was about to call you Braun. Sat, any thoughts?
So, I'm glad they've limited his segments to one. I'm thankful for that. So when Joe Gacy was doing his promo, I was like, those videos are wrong. Because some of this stuff was in the late 80s, early 90s. Braun Breaker wasn't born until 1987, so that was nothing relevant. He wasn't watching any of that. It wasn't until they showed like the Attitude Era stuff. I was like, okay, Braun was alive for that. Maybe he saw that portion. So for me, it was a whole rambling trite of crap. And you are so committed to the role. So committed. I get twice. Some of you people haven't watched the show, so you get once. I get it twice. But he's like, I love him. He's my brother. So I will kill him in his sleep. We'll come there where he is. He's in the UK. I could travel and kill him. But I'm not leaving your kids an orphan and your partner to kill me.
Jesus, my lord. Best comment here is from Jason, who says, Seth looks like he's in line behind someone at the bank who can't figure out how to use the ATM.
It's happened to me before, guys. An old lady. I had to be patient. Like when he does the promo. But I love him to bits. If it makes him happy, good for him. But my soul dies every single week when he does it. I was a product of positivity until he started doing the promo, and I'm getting crazy. And my baby can't sleep. I'm gonna get baby brain.
Speaking of people with baby brain after that promo, we see Braun Breaker is watching Gacy's promo, and yet Mackenzie Mitchell comes in and interviews Braun, but then we hear Joe Gacy laughing.
Don't do
From
that. That
behind.
was good, y'all. Now pick up the TV now. And he picks up the TV, and then he realized he had to contain himself, which is a sliver of hope that maybe he can keep his composure and not get himself disqualified and lose the title.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly. He's calm, he's composed, so hopefully he can hold that composure coming up at In Your House. And that was all for the main event build-up for In Your House. We just got one promo and vignette, and then the follow-up promo for Braun Breaker. Next was the aforementioned Women's Championship Summit. Then we went backstage, and Ivy Nile is working out when Kiana James interrupts. She talks trash about the Creed brothers, and James says that the Creeds have less than 12% chance of winning at In Your House. And Ivy pushes Kiana against the locker and says, "What does her number say about her kicking her apple?" And James says, "About the same as her boys." And that sets up a match for later on in the night.
SB, I'm sorry. I know some of the people are a bit younger. They don't know this. They're Alexandra York Foundation. Kiana James, she's a graduate. She's an intern, because that's exactly what they used to talk about. They used to go on the computer, talk about the odds. She did the same thing. All she's missing is a computer and Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor works in NXT. Maybe he had a hand in the creation of the character. I'm just thinking that. But yeah, every time she talks about odds, I'm just like, this is an Alexandria York Foundation intern. Guys, check out on WCW. Put in Alexandria York, who's played by Terry Runnels. You know, as Marlena, Goldust's ex-wife, and Terry Runnels, the announcer, backstage announcer, and you know, Jerry Lawler used to oogle her puppies. But yeah, this is exactly the same character. And I want Kiana James to get a couple of people, a tag team. She's got a little bit of Miss Hancock situation like Stacey Keebler in WCW. So yeah, just give her a tag team and they can run roughshod, potentially, or not, or lose like the York Foundation did as well.
Probably. Next we have Sola Sakoa versus Duke Hudson. Hudson doesn't get an entrance here, which is
The
unfortunate.
jobber entrance, as they call it.
Yes. Duke gets control a minute into the matchup with a nice jump over the ropes into a German suplex, but Sakoa makes his comeback. He hits the thrust kick. He follows with the flying oos solo splash for the win. Pretty solid matchup and a quick win for Solo Sakoa as he's heading to an NXT North American title shot
This is
after
funny.
In Your House.
Our notes are kind of similar. I put that Sakoa's greatest hits: Samoan drop, super kick, Umaga hip attack, and solo splash. I said solo splash as well. Duke Hudson did a springboard German suplex to impress you. SP, were you impressed?
Not really. That was the highlight of his offense in the match. I'll give him that.
That was Duke is not that bad. I mean, Duke. Okay, Duke is Von Wagner makes everyone look better on that roster, on that developmental roster.
No,
Von,
we are not giving pump up points for other people that are developmental performers. No.
listen, when you're that mid, you make everyone look like Diamond. Listen, Von Wagner is like a Snitsky. He's like a lumbering. I don't know, don't that ring. Like he is that kind of. Von Wagner. He should be a Beverly brother. I said it from day one. That's in his blood, that's in his gene. But at the same time, they're booking him well. He doesn't look like an unstoppable moron.
It was better than the following match. But before we got to the following match, Vic Joseph, we had the Tiffany Stratton vignette. Then we had Vic Joseph congratulating Thea Hale on graduating. We then see this fake press conference where Thea chooses what college she will be going to, and Hale throws all the hats from Notre Dame and North Carolina out the way, and she chooses
slander.
Andre Chase University. We see all of Chase U celebrating and start chanting, they.
SB. In the past, I admit it, Chase U wasn't really my bag because I was like, that's a fake university. It would be funny if it comes as a scam. He's been scamming people. That'd be a great ending to the university. Also have someone like Kiana James investigate the odds. For me, Chase U, I don't like talk about other companies. They to me come across like a university version of Dark Order. You got this bunch of misfits together, and it's so goofy and they're
Yeah.
kind of lovable. And Fear Hell joining Chase U. I didn't see that. See, Michael Hickenbottom, Book of the Year. He thinks 10 folds ahead of everyone else. What would have been the predictable thing?
We should have pretty much guessed that.
I
This
didn't.
was
It
the
was on the
payoff.
nose, but
Yeah, it was on the
I was
nose
caught up on the
too.
fake name. I was caught up on the fake name in the university letters. She should be in prison because she's a felon. Andre Chase, check her out. She's a felon. She lies about things.
It's like, do a background check, Chase. No, but
She
I
made
like
up the universities to entice them. Again, that would be great if that comes out. That's what happened. That'd be more interesting.
I like this segment. This was fine. Like I said, the Sola Sakoa versus Duke Hudson match was fine. This one was kind of just there, as it was Grayson Waller versus Josh Briggs. Briggs, he comes out with Brooks Jensen and Fallon Henley. So Grayson dares him to come down without the help, calling Jensen horseface. Just wanted to mention that. Grayson
That
gets
made me laugh until I realized who he was talking about. And I was like, okay, I get it. You just don't. That's going to be funny for the other, but at the same time,
he missed the joke. It's kind of like when the Usos did their like speech where they thanked the fans and then followed up with saying, "We didn't need any of you." No, that went against what you said. He should have said over there with Horseface and Brooks Jensen. He should have called Fallon Henley the Horseface.
Yes,
but he
said,
said
"That's horses." Yeah,
but he said and Fallon Henley, and it was
that's
just
why he's
like,
in the friend zone. That's why he's in the friend zone. That's what Tiffany doesn't want to sniff him at all. That's what they go shopping after she wins the title. That's what she's gonna get. You hold her purse. That's how much he's gonna hold of her.
Purse. She goes in and just tries stuff on.
Yeah, that's as close as gonna touch her purse. Grayson Waller in the friend zone. She's not even there supporting you. You're backstage doing segments about, hey, Tiffany's gonna win, blah blah. But is Tiffany talking about you? Heck nah, like tech nah.
Nope. Mr. Stone and Sophia Cromwell, they come down to ringside while Briggs is making his comeback. Von Wagner comes through the crowd and distracts Briggs on the apron, and Briggs knocks him off and then turns around into the rolling cutter from Waller. This wasn't too much of a matchup. This just was just a setting to progress and continue this Briggs versus Wagner storyline. Post-match, Von Wagner attacks Briggs and goes to injure his arm like he did to Jensen, but Brooks comes down to make the save, and before Cromwell holds back Wagner, I was just like, Brooks Jensen should not be the guy making the save for anyone. I'm sorry. They have totally ruined that character.
Who got ruined? Brooks Jensen. He got ruined when he got announced as being a listen, there's nothing with being a virgin, but it's how they went about him being a virgin.
Exactly. A virgin who has a strong right arm. They have went over the top. This jumped the shark a long time ago.
He just should have hit him with a cast. That would have made more sense. Yes. It should have been a back and forth, and the equalizer could have saved the day, because it is true. It's like after all of that, Von Wagner or Sophia Cromwell was like, not this guy. His right arm is strong, allegedly. He's watched me many times, allegedly.
Very strange. Yes. This following match was better now. We had Ivy Now versus Kiana James. Kiana has some interesting sort of like horror-esque music with a hip-hop.
No, she didn't.
It had the little horror string to it.
It sounded like a Lex Luger, the producer. 2009 track you'd hear from Rick Ross or Ace Hood. I was waiting for DJ Khaled. DJ, we the best. That and Carmelo Hayes theme, they belong on a compilation album 2009 by DJ Khaled. That was a banger.
Carmelo Hayes theme is a different class from this. I will say.
You don't know. That was a banger. I was bopping to it. That makes sense. Kiana James, Alexandra York intern.
This ain't Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton's theme is a bop. Now uses her wrestling ability to ground Kiana until James gets control. She takes a lot of this matchup, actually, more than I thought she would. Kiana reverses the neck crank into a crucifix for 2, but then Ivy just bodies Kiana, ending with the belly-to-belly suplex for the win. That was fine. Ivy was kind of tested, but she still overcame. And then post-match, we got Pretty Deadly coming down to the ring. They ask, what is Ivy Now going to do when Diamond Mine closes, and Pretty Deadly tries walking away, but the Creed brothers, they come out and Stand Tall. They attacked the Pretty Deadly and Stand Tall, raising the NXT Tag Team titles. But them raising the NXT Tag Team titles plus this stipulation, I was like, it might be bad news for the Diamond Mine's future there.
Exactly. It could be if they lose, Creed Brothers go straight to the main roster. They need more tag teams, and they've been doing well. They can learn on the job. They've done it to Nia Jax. They've done it to wrestlers who's not 100% ready, still green, but they learn on the job on the main roster. Creed Brothers, they deserve that push. If you can have Gable Steveson, who's had no matches in the developmental, Creed Brothers, who've had some reps, put them in the main roster.
Hey, why not? Why not? I say. Finally, we're finishing up this show. So last call on Mocha Chats, WrestleTalk.com/support. What did you think about the show? What did you think about the Women's Championship Summit? Let us know. WrestleTalk.com/support. Or if you want to talk about anything else in the wrestling world, let us know. We got a vignette. This time I saw it with Giovanni Vinci. It's a woman talking about him eating all these nice food, wearing this nice clothes, and she does confirm that it's a he. So in case you thought it was going to be a female, it's a he. So
I didn't see that. Unless I didn't see it, but I'm happy you finally saw it. It's equal because I saw the last one. Maybe it's a similar vignette. Do you think it's Fabian Eichner?
I think it might be. I think it might be rebranded Fabian Eichner.
Mayor Painville, don't be around for the chat for this one because I know it's broken your heart already. Do you think he's got a goatee or he grew some hair? I'm thinking, have they changed something about him? Does he have a goatee? Because
maybe he got the just for men. He got just for men. Who knows?
That look weird. Fabian with hair. I don't think Fabian can grow hair. He might have a little goatee though, just to differentiate who he used to be.
And I did see the comment in the chat. I am not a hockey fan. I am a Mighty Ducks fan. This has nothing to do with the Anaheim Ducks. This has to do with the Minnesota Mighty Ducks. Charlie Conway, Russ Tyler, all them boys. That's what I'm all about. One of my favorite movies of all time. But let's get into the main event, which was the highlight of the show. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, they make their entrance and join commentary for the main event. Melo is wearing a Jason Tatum shirt for the Eastern Conference champion Boston Celtics, so I like him a lot less after this. Barrett tells Melo to take a seat, and he responds and says, "I don't need to take a seat. I'm what a seat needs." That made me chuckle. I just had to mention that. Cameron Grimes versus Nathan Frazier is our main event. We get a nice chain wrestling start with both men doing kip-ups at the same time. Frazier hits a Hurricane Rana, sending Cameron to the floor, but Grimes gets on the apron before Nathan can hit a dive, and he hits a penalty kick. The champ then beats down Frazier on the floor, hitting a back suplex on the apron. He grounds him for a bit, and then Frazier makes his comeback. He hits a springboard moonsault into a reverse DDT, shades of AJ Styles on Grimes. The two men trade forearms and uppercuts before Grimes hits a front suplex, but Grimes runs into a super kick from Frazier. They trade more strikes, with Frazier landing an enziguri, followed by Grimes hitting a lariat, but Nathan hits a Hurricane Rana for a close near fall. Frazier then hits a torpedo suicide dive that was great once again. He has one of the best suicide dives on NXT 2.0. Nathan sets up for the Phoenix Splash, but Grimes climbs to the top rope. He hits avalanche German suplex and then follows with the cave-in for the win. This was absolutely great. This was just nonstop action, great sequences. These are two of the best workers, and not just NXT, probably all of the WWE. They just go out there and they have a banger like this if you give them time. And this was definitely Nathan Frazier's best match on NXT 2.0. And I didn't see a lot of his NXT UK stuff. Let me know in the chat or with the Mocha chat if you saw any of his NXT UK stuff that might have been better than this. This might have been the best match that he's had in WWE. Post-match, Trick and Melo, they jump Grimes, but he fights them off to stand tall to end the night. And one note the commentary didn't mention, Sola Sakoa was nowhere to be found, although he did tell Grimes earlier in the night he had his back. But what did you think about the main event here?
Wade, with the fade, that was one of my highlights in commentary by Trick Williams. The match was really good to the point where it was so many great moves. I couldn't put that on my notes because I like to put a little bit of moves that I like just to point out and highlight certain things. Kind of reminds me when I watch AEW, just too many moves, just can't highlight which one's the best or whatever. I like the fact that Nathan Frazier, I've everyone to come from NXT UK bar Pretty Deadly, he's has the most consistent TV time and even match time. Unlike a certain missing A Kid's missing, guys. A Kid is missing.
We're
A
gonna get
Kid
the
maybe
milk
getting
cartons.
repackaged.
We're
I
gonna get
think
the milk cartons ready.
yeah, I got a theory. I think A Kid, great in the ring, but they realize A Kid is not our name. He may come back under a different name, guys. That's a theory by me. Nathan Frazier, if they continue giving him matches like this, I can see him rising to the North American title division. Who, for me, the North American title scene is what makes NXT 2.0 palatable for people to watch. Without an NXT 2.0 match or people feuding it in that certain match, that's when the grade drops. When you don't have a Cameron Grimes having a match or a Carmelo Hayes or a Sola Sakoa, that's when you're upset and sad. That was a great match. North American title scene is the best scene because the main event title scene is kind of trash at the moment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the match and put Nathan Frazier in the main event scene. Why not? Test Breaker.
Might be the way to go, but I mean, I think whoever loses at In Your House between Cameron Grimes and Carmelo Hayes, they need them in the main event scene to boost up the quality of the work in the main event scene because yeah, the North American title scene totally outshines because they've kind of combined the great workers from the cruiserweight division with the great workers from the North American division. So you can mix them up and have some great matches. I would love to see Nathan Frazier versus Carmelo Hayes after this match. I want to see Nathan Frazier versus pretty much anyone after this matchup. This was kind of a star making or star cementing performance for him on NXT 2.0 that I rather enjoyed, and this was definitely the best main event for this show in a few weeks. So I enjoyed it a lot. But we got NXT In Your House coming up on Saturday. I'm going to give you rapid fire predictions.
Okay, before you do it, it's been on my mind. Okay, In Your House is coming out, but I was like that Bret Hart botch when he said In Your Ace. In Your Ace. I'm ready. Give me them In Your Ace predictions.
Well, you got Legado del Fantasma versus Tony D'Angelo, Stacks and Two Dimes, the family. Who do you have winning?
It's gonna be Tony D in the family because Santos won the last exchange.
That's fair. NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. You got Pretty Deadly versus the Creed Brothers.
Okay, this one's been hard because Pretty Deadly just won the title. You want to establish them a bit more as a tag team. But at the same time, Creed Brothers have been screwed so many times. How many times can you lose? Don't Ruby Soho them. Give Creed the titles.
No, that's fair. You got the NXT Women's Tag Team titles up for grabs. Toxic Attraction versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance.
Kaden Carter and Katana Chance are not it. I'm sorry. Toxic Attraction for retaining.
Mandy Rose defending the NXT Women's Championship against Wendy Chu. Who you got?
It'd be great if Wendy Chu won so Tiffany Stratton can pull out and beat her for the title. But knowing WWE, because we think we know Michael Hickenbottom, I'm gonna with Mandy winning.
That's fair, yeah.
Even though I feel like if they are putting Cora and Roxanne together, there's no one on the horizon to face her. So it should be Wendy winning just for the unpredictability of it. I mean, just give it a gender moment, even though Wendy has had some victory. Wendy winning would be a funny moment just to have Tiffany beat her. Oh, I smacked my microphone. Beat her on the next episode. I'm going with Mandy, safe option.
And I think there was like a Fightful report that said that, Wendy Chu was in line for a big push. So it's not out the realm of possibilities that she may win on Saturday. You got NXT North American Championship, by far the best match on this card. Carmelo Hayes versus Cameron Grimes. Who you got?
I have Cameron Grimes retaining. And then so we can have Carmelo Hayes to desperately boost the main event scene. Because me and you were talking about main event scene. I was like, what main event scene? It's such a graveyard. You got Duke Hudson walking around automatically getting title shots because there's no one to bully him out of it. Solo Sikoa was on the cusp. You can say Solo Sikoa maybe Exion Queen could walk it straight, walk it right. But at the moment, the main event scene is zilch. Please, guys, tell me who's in the main event scene. Nobody. except for Gacy and Breaker. That's what we're here.
I mean, the main event scene like 2 months ago, you got Tommaso Ciampa on Monday Night Raw not getting an entrance, and you got Dolph Ziggler who hasn't been seen since. He's another one that's on the milk carton with A-Kid.
Roderick Strong could be in the main event scene if you gave him some victories,
but he's already lost to Braun Breaker.
So I've forgotten that he had shorter hair back then when he lost. All I'm trying to say is the Roderick Strong is someone that should be in because of how long he's been there as well. You know, like that itself, that veteran status should put him up there. So it's a shame that Roderick Strong is just eating pins like he's the Brooklyn Brawler, because he could be what the main event scene needs. Because when Roderick Strong wrestles, he wrestles like his life depends on it. He wrestles like he got a phone call that told him his kids and his wife are in peril if he doesn't win. But he never wins. But luckily they're all right. But yeah.
They're fine. They're fine, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to Seth. And then finally, Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy. If Braun Breaker is disqualified, he loses the title. Who do you got winning?
People that 20 years ago or 22 years ago that watched Kane and Stone Cold Steve Austin first blood match, like, there's no way Austin's losing, and the way he lost as well. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm gonna go Braun winning because the main event scene is so dire, so crap. I can't even tell you who's the number 2 babyface. Maybe Solo. Braun for the win. And please, Joe Gacy, go fight for the 24/7 title or something. Just stay away. You're the reason why NXT is where it's at right now. You're the reason why certain viewership has gone down all across the board. I'm talking about WWE.
Sat wants Joe Gacy to be out of the main event scene desperately, ladies and
Please.
gentlemen. But that is his predictions for NXT in your house this Saturday. You can go to True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I did a prediction show, a preview show with Fightful's Joe Pearl, as well as Romeo from True Hill Heat. Check that out. That's over on the True Hill Heat page if you want to hear my predictions. So yeah, do your mods call, Sat, before we wrap things up.
Oh, this is like one of my favorite things to do, is to shout out the unsung heroes. Even though here they kind of sung but they are unsung heroes. These are guys, the backbone of the WrestleTalk chats. I'm talking about our precious mods. So shout out to mod brother Rob. We love you. Shout out to Rob Mother John. We love you. Shout out to mod brother Brandon. We love you, brother. Shout out to mod brother Bubba, but the ladies called him Paul. And of course, she wasn't feeling well for the chat. Shout out to the mother of all mods, Mod Mother Jenna. Hope you get well. So shout out to the Blue Wench Order, BWO. They're the best mod team around. It's always a pleasure doing these shows with SP3 and knowing they're in the chats to make sure that everything runs smoothly. They're big boss manning your arse. Wait, my mom's not here, so I can swear as much as I want, but I'm not going to take advantage. Arse. Like, in your ace.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, shout out to the mods. We love you. Shout out to the chat. Please give us some mocha chats next week. I'm broke.
You gotta put diapers on the little baby. So yes, join us here next week, next Wednesday, for our NXT 2.0 Mocha 2.0 review. You got tomorrow the AEW Dynamite review with Ali and Luke. You got Friday the magazine show. Saturday you got the LIW boys. You got our homies Pete and Tempest reviewing SmackDown and
Tempest
Rampage. He's back.
Tempest
so
is back.
All of that out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Drop a like on this video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you are new. For Sat E, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. And yes,
wait. We didn't do the thing.
What thing?
We didn't do the thumbs thing. We didn't do it, right?
Oh, yeah. My bad. So thumbs in the middle for this episode of NXT 2.0.
Yeah, it's always mid. Yeah, in the mid.
One. No, I'm going to give it a thumbs up this week, just for the main event.
And Tiffany Stratton, right?
Yes,
Tiffany Stratton. I'm on the Tiffany Stratton train until she says something MAGA. I'm still on the train.
Exactly. We'll get on the Tiffany Stratton train because all off the Nikita Lyons train after her.
I was never on it, guys.
Yes, you were. But until next week, we will see you then.
This has been
Mocha 2.0. Take a plane. It was like created 100 years ago.
I'm so